Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Skidude and it's time for How to Animate Part 3. Now I am doing this over a live stream so the quality may not be as good. I'm not going to be able to put my cool little words and red boxes and things like that in. But I haven't had much time to sit down and actually record, so since I have time to live stream, I'm just going to do it over a live stream and then upload it to YouTube. So I hope that works out. And I want to give a shout out to everybody that is here in the stream with me. Got the faithfuls. But anyway, I want to get a lot done in this episode just because I feel like we haven't done much in the first two. I mean, all we've done is we've put a house in and put some lights in. Essentially, we've made a dog's tail wag. But I want to actually get to animating and see if I still remember how to animate. Now, a lot of you will see that I have changed how Skidude has started out the animation. I'm going to have him actually sitting on the stairs. Instead of just standing up in front of the door like a piece of wood. So I've kind of made him try to look somewhat relaxed, just hanging out, leaning back on the stair, leaning with his arm over there. Then we'll have him like move the stick while the dog wags its tail, and we'll go from there. So I guess we'll just start animating. So we'll start with Skidude because we've already got the dog wagging his tail right there. We're going to turn the camera timeline off. So I guess I need to remember this is kind of a basic tutorial. To turn the camera on and off, you push this little camera timeline here up in the top, and you'll see camera now pops in the timeline, and that's how you make different keyframes for the camera to move to. And as we move with our different camera angles, we'll show the different transitions that you can use there. So anyway, let's start by just shaking the stick. So we've got the dog wagging his tail for it's about 2 seconds. We may make it longer while we shake the stick, but we'll just start with shaking the stick. So I'm going to use about the same space that I was for the dog's wagging his tail. So I'm going to put a keyframe there, and going to let's see. We'll twirl open the position. We may change the bending just a little bit. Actually, I think we may just do it only with bending, so let's try this. So we're going to make him go like this. And then on this one, we'll make him bend down. Now, I don't want it to be too uniform, so I'm not going to copy like all the keyframes. I'm going to kind of do it individually so that it's kind of a different depth every time, instead of it just being a robot motion of the same up and down movement, which does take a little bit more time to do, but I want to try to give it somewhat of a better feel. And we'll see how this turns out since only his arm is moving, not his whole body. The problem with making a lot of keyframes like this all at once is that now if I go back here and edit his leg, it only happens in this keyframe. I'm going to have to select all the keyframes again and change his legs. So we'll see how that turned out. Let's press play. Yeah, it just looks so robotic to me because only this part of his arm is moving. So we may want to tweak that just a little bit. So I'm actually just going to grab all these and delete. So we're gonna bend his arm, but we're also gonna rotate his arm. Just a little bit of each time. We'll actually move his arm out a little bit as he shakes it, and then we'll move it up. And then we'll move it back in, and we'll shake it down, and we'll move back out and down, and then we'll bend it up. So I'm just trying to put more movement in his whole arm rather than just that one part of his arm bending. So I'm just kind of randomly doing things here. There really is no sort of pattern to this. I'm just kind of doing it randomly. And we'll see how it turns out. And then we'll end up back here. So let's take a look at this one. Let's turn off the rotation thing. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. Yeah, and I do, they're saying in stream, I do need to make his body move a lot more than just his arm. So I think in some of these we'll move his body as well. So we'll like do that. Do that. Maybe tweak his head a little bit. I don't want to look like I'm having like a seizure. But I think I'm also going to make his legs kick just a little bit. And we'll do that with the bend. And see, now here's the kind of the detriment of doing one keyframe at a time, because now I have to go back and edit each keyframe individually for each body part. So if you do it all at once, you kind of save yourself some time in that you're not going to have to go back and do this like I am, which is somewhat... Now I could select all the keyframes and edit them all at once, but since I'm moving each body part individually, I want to... that's pretty much what I have to go back and do. So let's see how it's going. Win! So let's add a couple more movements here at the end. Let's kick this leg back out. Let's also rotate the body again on this one. Make sure his head stays there. We'll bend this arm in just a little bit more. Maybe bring it down just a little bit. And then we're back to here. So let's take a look at that. Let's save, press play. Yes. Now, let's see, I am getting 52% frame rate, meaning this is going to speed up a lot more, but I may just use a video editing program to slow this somewhat down. Stroking the stick, are you? You dirty man, Seth Jack. So now I want to redo the camera angle, as it's going to look somewhat... It looks like I'm like kind of doing a little dance as I sit on the porch there. With the dog wagging his tail. So I think we are going to extend this just a little bit. So I'm going to click and drag over those keyframes right there. And we're going to hold Control and drag them out. So I pretty much just copied that twice over. So now let's watch the whole thing. So now it is a lot longer of me shaking the stick for him to come and get. So that looks somewhat better, and I did just save my time, all that. So let's look at the camera angle. We are going to want to change a couple of the angles. I think we're going to maybe start right here maybe. And then, so let's go over a couple different camera transitions. I think for right here, we're just going to have the camera slide across to here. So let's see how that looks. Pretty good. It's smooth, and that's the thing you want to think about your camera angles, is you don't want to make them harsh angles. So like I see in a lot of animations, it's like if I flip the camera around 180 degrees, it just doesn't look like a natural camera movement, because it goes... It just doesn't look normal. Now that can also be changed by the different options over here. So let's look at the different options of the camera keyframe. You've got rotate and move. So let's change this one to move, and then let's go back and watch it. Okay, I actually need to keep that one at rotate, and let's change this one to move. So let's... You see how it's different there? So if I keep this one as rotate, it rotates around the point to get there. And as a result, it goes through the world on that. But if I change that to move, it kind of just swivels in place and looks back. Now it's still not a natural camera movement. So the better case in this, now I'm not keeping this as one of my normal camera angles, is I would make this an instant transition. And you just twirl open transitions here on the right while you have the camera keyframe selected, and I would select instant. And so let's go ahead and move this back. Now the camera doesn't move until it hits this keyframe. So that's the way the instant transition works, is you put it on the camera keyframe before the one you actually want it to change to. So since I have this one looking this way, I make the one before it an instant transition. So when I press play, it doesn't move, and then it switches over instantly. Now the different transitions are just kind of how smoothly the camera moves. You've got ease in, ease out, ease in only and ease out. I'll just have both on, and we'll see if we can catch the difference. So that one does add some smoothness to it. Ease in, ease out means it kind of speeds up and slows down as it comes in. We'll change it back to linear so you can see the difference. Kind of hard to see, but either way, that's essentially how we want to do it. But we are not keeping this camera angle, so let's delete it. And let's go back to here. So we've got the camera kind of pans around to there. And then I want to put another camera angle in. We're going to move this one back to instant. And we're going to jump up to this one, and we're going to move it up here, kind of looking over Ski-Doo's shoulder, like this. So let's see how this all looks. Let's hit save. See, now I didn't make the camera flip all crazy and go behind his shoulder. I did an instant transition, so it just looks like there's a second camera behind Ski-Doo's shoulder. Now, I did notice something that I kind of want to change, but I also don't want to change, is the dog's head is not, it's only his tail that's moving. So I kind of want to make his head move as well. Let's see, I'm going to enter something to streamer. Okay, let's jump back here. Alright, so I do want to make his head move a little bit, so I am just going to pick kind of random keyframes here and mess with them. Only his head. Now I'm wondering how silly this is going to look because I am doing random keyframes, so we'll see. We'll go back here and play. It looks alright. Now here at the end, I actually want to make the dog kind of bow down and put his butt in the air, like when a dog really gets excited, they put their head further to the ground and stick their butt up into the air. So I want to work on that as well. So let's grab a keyframe. Let's give it a little bit more time to do it. And we'll say about right there. Take his whole body and we'll rotate it forward. We're going to move his head up. We're going to move left front leg forward. Now the front left leg, I don't think the wolf's legs bend. No, they don't. Okay. So we may just want to bring up his body a little bit closer. Let's say about right there. Let's go here, the right front leg. Bring it forward. I actually want to rotate his body. Let's twirl open position. Bring him down. And this is a little bit, let's see, tail, head, body. Harder to do because the wolf doesn't have very many bendy parts. So this may look a little bit silly. We'll see. See, does a dog's legs bend out like that? No, they don't. Right back leg. And the tail. We want to bring down. And down. Okay, this looks a little bit silly, but depending on the camera angle, see from here it looks okay. So let's see how it looks. Yeah, so let's turn off toggle looping, and that way it just keeps playing. Instead of looping back, so we can just see how the dog looks. Yeah, that looks okay from this camera angle. I don't know why the wolves and pigs and whatnot limbs don't bend. You would have to ask David that. I'm just the guy that makes tutorials. So we've got it so far that Ski Dude shakes the stick for the dog to go for. The dog wags his tail, shakes his head, and gets all excited and goes down like this. And so now what we want to do is we want to have Ski Dude hop down there. So let's just animate the dog a little bit more. Let's get the dog. Let's actually give the dog a little bit more movement. I just wanted to show that he is really excited. So we're going to bring the body up to here. We'll see how natural this looks. I may have to add a couple breaks in between this, but I'm gonna have him get up on two legs and kind of hop around. Head, down, front leg, down, down. Let's actually rotate the legs out just a hair like this. Back legs as well. I think we'll like have a camera angle, so we need to have him stand body, a little bit more up. So we're going to need to rotate the back legs, right back leg. Okay, so now he's up like that, and he's not scared, so we need his tail to pop back up here. Okay, so let's take a look at this from this camera angle. Let's just select the stick. Press play. So the dog's all happy. He's kind of twerking his head as Ski Dude plays with that. And then the dog hops up like this, and then we're going to have him jump. Just do a couple hops to show how excited he is. And now instead of just going up, down like this, so I'll just show you real quick, and just down like this, that doesn't look very fluid, so I'll show you what I mean here. If I just make the dog's body go ding ding, he just looks like a solid object moving, and so this is where you want to, if I did have bendable limbs, I could get a little bit more into it, but we don't, so we'll just work with what we got. So let's delete this one as well. So this one, he starts on the ground. Now when he jumps up, you just want to show that his whole body moves when he jumps. So we will move the whole body up, but we're also going to move the head up just a little bit. The legs will come up, left leg, we'll bring that one down. The back leg, we'll kind of rotate it back, and this one will rotate out and up. Now we'll see, I'm not going to play it, I'll just kind of drag it. So when he jumps up, you can see his whole body is moving. It's not just a solid block moving up. It just gives him more movement and more life. And so that's what you want to think about when you're doing this. So now, to bring him back down, I'm going to add another keyframe there. We'll grab the body, bring it back down. And you got to think, when you land, your head usually jerks to the ground. So we're going to kind of bring it down quite a bit. We'll bring that one back, rotate it back in. And as I told you about the head jerking, I actually did it at my desk. It's kind of silly. Also with the front legs, we're gonna jerk those down just a little bit. No, that's not the one we want. This one, like this, and like this. And so now I'm going to add just another quick keyframe of where the limbs recover, where they come back up just to show the shock of the hitting the ground. So the head will also come back up. And maybe on this one as well, we'll rotate the body just a little bit, and then we'll bring it back. Okay, so let's see how that looks. So he jumps up, he jumps, comes down. That didn't work out like I wanted to. Let's give this a little bit more time. Oops. Yeah, it didn't turn out like I wanted. And I think it's because of the body rotation. So let me move that back to there. Actually, let's just give it some more shock. So head down to there, down to there, down to there. Yeah, that looks okay. So we'll play it. Let's from back here. Wagging his tail, moves his head a little bit, then he goes down and jumps up. And then we'll just bring him back down to this position. So I'm just going to click it, hold control, and drag it over. So let's see how that looks. He jumps up and then comes back there. And that's good enough for me. So we've got the dog moving, and while the dog's moving, we're not going to really have Ski-Doo doing much more. So what we'll do to show, we don't want to have the camera stay here, because if you notice, so we do this, we move the camera back here, Ski-Doo stops moving, but the dog then moves, and so that doesn't look somewhat normal. So right as Ski-Doo stops moving, we want to add another camera keyframe, and we're going to use another instant transition. So we're going to make this one instant, and this one we're just going to move kind of right down here in the dog's face, kind of at Ski-Doo's feet. So let's play, let's save. Now the camera, I feel like that's still a little bit too low. So we are going to bring it up just a little bit. So like it's almost as if we want to get in Ski-Doo's head of where the eye is. We want to make sure this is as centered as we can get him. Alright, let's try that one. Hello everybody in the stream. Alright, so he jumps up and goes down like that. And so right as the dog goes back down, we want another keyframe to move to. And I really like the instant transition. There are times when you want to have the moving transition like this one. Keep it smooth, keep it like this, and then shaking the stick, dog jumps up, goes like that. And I think real quick, we're actually going to do the tail wagging thing a little bit more here while we've got the camera right here. So right here, we're going to bring the tail up so you can see it like that. So let's click back on this camera keyframe so we can see exactly where we are, like this, and then this. Is it the red one? Nope. Hold on, we're going to save this and then we're going to try the undo button. It worked, yay! Okay, this, like this, this, like this. And then we're going to copy these, and then we're going to copy these, and then we're going to copy these to there. So let's see how it looks from start to end. Let's go back here. Now for those of you that cannot get the render to work and you are forced to use a screen capture program to record your animations, don't record it with these panels still visible. You can click the little lock up here in the top right and the little lock here in the bottom to make everything go away. Now you're also going to want to turn off the help by going into settings that we have hidden and show help, check that off, and so now when I mouse over something it doesn't show a little help thing here. Now you'll just want to move your mouse off the side of the screen while you record. So let's go up here and let's press play. So it moves around, jumps back here while he's shaking the stick. Jog jumps up, gets down, and wags his tail really fast. Okay, so I feel like we're making some progress here. So we'll do a little bit more animating, and then we will switch to some survival games. So we've got the tail wagging, and then I want it to end with just... Oh, and the baby is back downstairs. Hello, baby! Oh, you got... Need diaper change? That'll be good to share on YouTube. The baby needs a diaper change. Okay. And she's going to cry while they do it. So let's grab the head and let's just move the head kind of to the side just a little bit. But we still want him to be looking up at Ski Dude. Like this. And we'll have the tail drop back down out of sight. Okay, so tail's wagging, and then he goes, huh, you gonna throw the bone? You gonna throw the bone? And now I'm going to kind of show you kind of how I make breaks in my animation. So as I'm, I guess, being lazy, or I don't want to show all of the movement of what's going to happen, I make breaks in the animation. So instead of showing Skidoo jump down and walk over and move the dog over, we're just going to change their positions and change the camera so you don't actually see them move. We just jump to a camera spot where they have moved. And so to do that, I'll give it like a little break about this much. First we're going to set up our characters. We're going to save. We're going to add a keyframe. Let's say right there at 115 for Ski Dude. We're going to make sure we have everything selected. And what we want to do is on his last keyframe is change that to instant as well. That works with character movements as well as... uh-oh, she's coming over. Hey! Hey! And you are why I don't record through the week, huh? Huh. Yeah. Okay, that's instant. So now, when I move his position over here, we're actually just going to reset everything and move him back over here. Well, that didn't reset his... let's try this. Reset part, left leg, reset part, reset part, reset part, reset part, reset part. Okay, we missed a leg apparently. Right leg, reset part. There we go. So now he's back to just his standard position. So when we move him down, oop, let's undo that. Get his whole body. Let's move him down. Okay, so now if we watch it from just this angle, he's gonna do there. The camera's only showing the dog at this point. And then we have our break. And I make this break so that I know when to cut it in a video editor. And then all of a sudden he's over here, which is where our next camera angle will be. So we're going to do the same thing with the dog. We're going to put a keyframe right there for Mr. Dog. And we're going to reset all of his parts. And we are going to move him out here. It looks like we missed a leg with... No, his legs are still there. They're just not resetting. Reset part. Let's see, reset part. Let's try this again. Alright, so they don't want to reset for some reason, so we'll just do it manually. Oh, that's the wrong one. This one. This one we want. We'll just do this. Reset to 0. There we go. Head, reset to 0, reset to 0, reset to 0. Okay. And the tail. Reset to 0, reset to 0. Okay, so now we've got them over here. Want to make this keyframe on the instant as well. Click OK. Click Save, and now let's get our new camera angle. That we're going to put about right here. And now I know they're not animated, but we just want to set up the camera angle. let's say about right there. And of course we take this one and we change it to instant. Let's hit save and let's watch it from the beginning. So it starts out, Ski Dude. Camera pans around, jumps back behind him as he shakes the stick for the dog. Stick jumps up, shows how happy he is, shakes his head, turns his head. We've got the break. Camera turns over and characters are over there and ready to go. Okay, so let's call that good for today. We've made some ground. We've actually animated some stuff. We've shown how to copy keyframes again, kind of give natural movement. You want to make sure lots of body parts are moving, not just one body part, or you look like a robot. We've worked a lot with the instant transition. It works with camera keyframes. It works with character keyframes as far as movement and transition. That's the make or break, I feel, is the camera. How smooth you get the camera to move. So like here, it's smooth. It instantly jumps back. I don't have one of those weird like crazy turns. Let me show you the crazy turn I'm talking about. We'll turn this off of instant and you'll see what I'm talking about. So it's slow, it's all peaceful, and all of a sudden it goes ring. That's not how normal cameras move, and so that's why we want to use the instant transition. So if I press play, it just jumps behind. And I use the instant transition a lot. Oh, see, I accidentally turned it off for one of them there. Let's see, this one. What's this one on? That one's on instant. The camera keyframe is this. I don't remember adding that one. So let's delete it. I may have accidentally clicked on the thing. Oh, duh. We need to make this instant. That's what we wanted to do. Okay, so now let's watch it. Let's press play, save, play. Now, you can overuse the instant transition, so you want to be careful with that. So in the next part, we will use a couple different transitions so that it's not as, because too many instant transitions and it is a little bit robotic. You do want to keep some smooth transitions like this, smooth movements in the camera to make it feel like there's still a moving camera, not just blink, 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 blink movements. So let's save it and let's call it a day. Thanks everybody for watching. This was How to Animate Part 3. Next part, we will work on throwing the stick over here. We'll add the skeleton, and I imagine we'll finish. I'll make my goal in doing this a 5-part series. So we've got Part 4 and Part 5, and we should have a finished animation by then. We may have a Part 6 to show how I edit the video. We'll see on that one. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for supporting Mine-imator. If you have questions or help, go ahead and check out the Mine-imator forums. There's rigs there, there's scenery there, there's schematics there, everything that everybody has made they've put on the forums for you to use. There's tons of knowledge there, so go ahead and check that out. This is Ski Dude, and I will catch you guys later.